Good evening and welcome back to the Scotching Hot Takes podcast. Today we're doing another discography ranking, our favourite kind of videos, and it's the Fontaines D.C. edition. Now it's not going to be the longest one because they've only got 4 albums, but I'm sure we're going to have plenty to say about them. Who's kicking off?
I'll let you kick off, but I'll just say, I really don't know where you're going with this at all. I have no idea what you're going to say. I think I know one placement, but other than that, no clue.
Behind the scenes, first time we've ever done a first take intro.
Oh yeah, facts actually, yeah. Okay. Well done.
We'll get straight on up.
Let's not fuck it up now.
Yeah.
You take us away.
Oh, you swore in the too early, we're going to get demonetised.
Oh no.
No,
we don't even monetise anyway.
In last place, I've put Romance.
Thought so.
Now, there is some very good songs on this. There is one, favourite, is a hit. It's one of them songs, as much as people will try and say, we've been accused because stuff we've said about Romance before of saying that, oh, you're just trying to be different by saying you don't like Romance. It's not that. There is genuinely stuff on here that I love. Favourite is one of my Fontaine songs of all time. It's infectious. It's so catchy. It's almost like it's chemically designed to be a hit.
Yeah.
But it doesn't even feel like it's like an unbearable hit in a corporate way, like something off AM. It still has that Fontaine's...
AM sneak this flying in there.
I just wanted to put that in there. And other stuff as well, like In the Modern World, I really enjoy. I do think Starburster, as much as when I first heard it, I was thinking, I'm not sure about this new electronic sound that they're going down. The more time I've had with that to sit with me, definitely grown on me. That song I kind of given like an 8.5 area. Okay. So that's definitely a highlight.
That's definitely grown in you then, actually, because I remember.
Stuff like Bug as well. Nice little acoustic number. I think that's really good as well. Well, but then stuff that kind of ruins it. Track 3 and track 4, Here's the Thing and Desire in a row. Genuinely 2 of the toughest listens.
Wait, as in toughest? Do you think they're like bad songs then?
Yeah.
Fair.
Desire is kind of just like, this isn't very good. Here's the Thing, however, is genuinely unlistenable. I'm not
going to say anything.
I've given that song specifically a 3.
Ooh.
And that's only because...
because you do the thing where you rank every individual song.
That's just how I like to rank it. Because especially for these aren't very concept-y albums.
Yeah.
These are kind of track-for-track kind of albums. Did I say what I'd given it?
No. I'm quite intrigued.
I've given it a 7.7. I think it's a good album. It's in the mid to high range of good because Favourite definitely brings it up. Hoarseness is the Whatness is a slightly underrated one, I think.
Really?
It just gets...
I don't know.
Do you not like that one?
Hoarseness is the Whatness is absolute garbage.
Garbage?
Shit.
Garbage. But Sundowner, another weak one. Yeah. Motorcycle Boy's fine. Death Kink's alright. It's a very alright album with one terrible piece of shit and one absolute diamond.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the best way to describe it. I've also just got a grudge against it because, as you can see above Sam's head, I ordered one of the picture discs and there wasn't many of them made, and I was so excited for it to come out. Because another fun fact, Skinty Fia was the first record I ever bought.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't think I knew that.
Yeah. For me.
Yeah.
I'd bought someone for someone else before, but that was the first one I ever bought for myself. Don't have the other 2 Fontaines records. I've got these 2. And when I pre-ordered this, it wasn't very cheap. It wasn't worth it. It's a good collector's item, but I kind of hold a grudge against the album for that reason as well, because I was so excited for it.
Yeah, maybe that's sort of like let you down a bit as well.
Definitely. So. It has grown on me with time. That I remember after first listen, we were kind of listening together, just thinking, this is genuinely fucking dog cum. This is horrible.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It wasn't a great first listen at all.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm assuming that it's going to be number 4 for you as well.
Yeah, but I think you like it a lot more than me. I've given it a 6. I think it's just a decent album.
Yeah, like, I'm not particularly mad about that.
I think 7.7 is extremely generous. Like, as much as there are songs, like Favourite on here, beautiful summer song. I know it's a controversial take because Romance is one of the most beloved albums, especially from last year.
Yeah.
But I'll confidently say it's their weakest effort.
Yeah.
I think they've got way too sucked into the aesthetic and vibe of the album and sacrificed the musicality of it. I appreciate bands maybe moving in different directions, switching up their style and their sound.
Yeah.
I just don't think this is executed, and I feel like it feels very forced. A lot of the music choices in terms of instrumentals, as well as Grian's vocal performances, some of his like pitch changes, like on Here's the Thing, where he's going into this like falsetto, it's not flattering.
It's the same as that new single that's come out.
Yeah.
Is it called Amazing to Be Young?
Yeah.
It's that kind of.
I just don't think that's flattering for him.
No, I think he's much better as a very spoken word, monotonous kind of thing.
And I'll get on to the vocal performances I like in some of the higher albums that I've ranked here. But I think the perfect example of the problem with this album is the intro Romance. It's like acting like it's way more dramatic than it actually is. And that's just sort of the feel I get throughout the whole album. There's sort of just like loose string sections just thrown in. They feel a bit tacky. They feel sort of like they're just there for the aesthetic again.
It feels a bit corny, I think.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a corny album.
And I don't think the writing's anywhere near as maybe introspective as something on like Skinty Fia.
You can still tell that he is an incredible songwriter because there is some lines and some moments that are really nice and poetic and well written. And you can tell that they're a great band in terms of musicianship. They're all great with their instruments. They can write good songs. The problem is, I think there's just moments on this where they've not channeled that enough and they've been thinking too much about appealing rather than being themselves.
Yeah, and even on maybe some of the deeper cuts, like a Sundowner, it just doesn't move me at all. It's very washed away.
Bit of a wet flannel.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. But yeah, 6 out of 10 for me. I genuinely just sort of it is, and that's actually grown on me as well. But it's just
we probably both would have given
album.
it a 3 upon first listen.
Yeah, it's just okay.
Yeah. My next, at number 3, we've got Skinty Fia.
You might get grilled for that because that's quite low, isn't it? In terms of like
I've
what
given
a lot of
it
people rank.
An 8.4.
So a bit of a jump up. Okay.
So it's in the middle range of great albums.
Right, okay.
I'm not going to try and pronounce the first track.
Yeah, I know.
But that is an absolute banger, incredible intro. And I can't remember who it's by, but there's like a electronic remix of it. Have I ever shown you that before?
No, I've never even come across it.
We'll listen to that in the kitchen later.
All right.
It's a good one. Only weak points on this album, and I'm sure you'll probably agree with me. Songs, it's like that specific run of Big Shot and How Cold Love Is. I still think they're good songs, but I think it gets a little bit too... I feel like I want a direction change. I feel like maybe they should have been spread apart in the track list. I think they're very similar. This is quite a dark album. It's got a lot of dark atmospheres, and this is probably the word that I say most on the podcast, grit. They've got grit to them.
Yeah.
And it's a very similar Grian vocal performance, which I love them as individual songs. I still think they're great songs. I've given them both around an 8, the average songs for this album. But I just wish that they were kind of switched around somewhere else in direction. Highlights for this album, I Love You is potentially their best song. It's definitely up there. It's an absolute masterpiece in every way. You can see this is like, I like to think sometimes when I'm thinking of a favourite song, is it each individual member's best performance? In terms of Grian, songwriting and delivery, absolutely. All of the artists and all of the band members and their respective instruments, incredible. Great bass line, incredible drumming, incredible guitar work. There's amazing atmospheres created. It's massive. That is an incredible song. Also, Roman Holiday, a great song. Personal favourite of mine, The Couple Across the Way. These kind of slowed down. Is this one of these ones?
Oh, we're just opposite ends of the spectrum again.
I wasn't expecting that to be a favourite of yours, but I like, I said the other day about how I love an album where there's a fairly similar pace and mood, and then you get just a gentle, soft, deep cut. And I said the Jam are really good at it.
Yeah.
Fontaines are another band that are a bit like that, and this is probably a good example of that. I love that song.
Not in my books.
The Couple Across the Way, I've given a 10.
Bro.
It's one of my favourite Fontaine songs.
We genuinely are so opposite. This is genuinely one of my least favourite Fontaine songs. It's unlistenable. It's unlistenable to me.
When I saw them in 2022, I was so sad that they didn't do it.
Yes, but it's not really maybe.
I
like
wasn't expecting. I saw them when I saw them in Leeds last year as well.
I just think that
I wasn't expecting it to anyway, but
lead accordion and then he just follows that melody. It just gets really under my skin, and I think it just gets really stale really quickly.
I think it's beautiful.
Songwriting's good on it, but I don't. Just the delivery is so off-putting to me, and the accordion just.
Do you think because it's a bit? Because it's just the same back and forth kind of melody. Does that just not resonate with you so much?
It's not even like it doesn't resonate. Genuinely, it gets under my skin. It like annoys me a bit.
That's a shame. That's actually a bit annoying. I kind of do get it though, but I just really like it.
I feel like it's a Marmite kind of song. I bet there's a lot of people that will love it like you.
It's probably similar to a Here's the Thing. A lot of people love that song.
Yeah, but that's so boring though.
Bloomsday is another one kind of like Big Shot where like it's good, especially instrumentally. It's a good vocal performance, but I just feel like on this album, I much prefer the more fast-paced, the more slow-paced but hard tracks, the heavy but slow ones. I'm not really a heavy, slow guy.
Yeah.
If it's loud and it's got a bit of oomph to it, I like it to be faster, and I like a slow, quiet one. I'm not very good at slow, loud, which I think that's probably why we don't like a lot of metal.
Yeah, that's a good point, I think.
Yeah. That's a completely regardless point. But I still give it an 8.4. I think it's an amazing album. Songwriting, absolutely incredible. I Love You could be peak Green Chat and songwriting. It's definitely up there.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have no complaints of anyone putting this at number one.
Yeah.
What comes after this is just personal preference. I do think that Romance is their worst album.
Yeah, easily for me. I don't even think it's close.
The other three, I'm not saying whether how I've got them particularly close or not. I might not, but I do think that the three are just completely interchangeable depending on your taste.
I think arguments can be made for them. Yeah, that's fair.
You're number three? Yeah.
This is where Dogrel's coming in.
Okay.
And I've given it an 8 out of 10. I've already said in the Black Album Covers tier list that it's a great album, and I think it is bang on great. Mm-hmm. It's just solid 8.
Yeah.
I think it's a massive step up from Romance because it's 2 rankings higher, or ratings, in terms of the point system that we go by. But I think this is such a strong debut album. Mm-hmm. I love the raw and original sound. You get the proper Irish roots coming through.
Yeah.
And I think the sort of post-punk aspect of this album is where Green is at his peak, where he's got this aggressive little bounce, and there's so many like witty like lines in here. Mm-hmm. It's fun, but my main thing throughout this whole album is just the tempo. It's relentless. Mm-hmm. And I think even some of the softer songs on here still sort of keep up the momentum in terms of engagement. There's no real like slow songs, which a lot of the time I like a diverse track list, but in this one, because it's all so relentless and it's not got, it doesn't overstay its welcome.
Yeah.
I think it's great. Hurricane Laughter has an absolutely incredible bass line. That is my kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And then one of the fan favourites, Boys in the Better Land.
Yeah.
Is a fan favourite for a reason. What a banger. Just bangers across the whole thing. I just think, in terms of an album, this feels more of a compilation of great tracks. It doesn't so much have what I look for in an album. Maybe I was just saying its praises in terms of not got the range, but I think the range in the other albums above this is what makes it have a little bit more diversity amongst the track list, can get a bit more out of it. And I do think their songwriting did improve over time.
Yeah.
So 8 out of 10. Don't really have much more to say. It's just a really solid debut album and a lot of replay value throughout it.
Yep. My number 2.
Yep.
This is where I've got Dogrel.
Okay.
And I've given it an 8.9.
Wow.
On the edge of being an amazing album.
Okay.
It's an incredibly great album. I do agree. I think this is very much an album of songs rather than an album. Yeah. There's not many songs on this that you couldn't listen to on their own, I don't think.
No, of course, yeah.
I think this is an incredible album for a debut album. Mm-hmm. Songs like Big is such a good opener.
Yeah.
Like it's such a statement.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're right. I think I like the way that the energy's kept up through the album. Big and Sha 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 and Too Real, and it kind of follows on from the tempo that they set. Even kind of slower ones like Roy's Tune, lovely song, definitely a different direction. However, it's not actually that slow.
That's what I was trying to get across.
When it first starts slowing down, it's Dublin City Sky, the outro.
Yeah.
Which, same as Couple Across the Way, is one of my favourite Fontaine songs because I love the really gentle, quiet ones where it's just a very poetic Grian serenade.
But I think just to bounce off that, I like his vocals on that because he's not trying to do too much. It's still him being original and not forcing it too much. He's got that more like gentle, natural tone rather than like some of the like bit obnoxious falsettos that you find on Romance and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what. So I'm backing you. That's I think it's nice.
So there is some songs on this. Roy's Tune is absolutely a standout.
Yeah.
Too Real.
Yeah.
That live. I know you don't remember when we went to see Fontaines. We saw Fontaines at Leeds Fest. Funnily enough, Sam doesn't remember any of it. I'll let you guess why. However, Liberty Bell, absolute standout as well.
Yeah.
And Boys in the Better Land is also a contender for Fontaine's best song. It's one of them. Tom, the drummer, is absolutely incredible. He's just got such like force about him. He's an absolute stampede in terms of sound when he's drumming. Diogo's bass is just backing it up so nicely.
Another underrated track for me is like The Lots. I really like sort of the instrumental passage at the end with just the guitars. I really like
this. Is really hard to pick out highlights of because I think this is definitely a very, very consistent album.
I think for me, it's all around that like 8 out of 10 ranking. Like it's all really consistent. There's not really a miss on it.
I think if I had to pick like least favourite songs, it would be, and they're still giving them like 7s and 8s. Hurricane Laughter, The Lots, and Check.
Hurricane Laughter.
This is what I'm saying.
It's such a that's one of my favourites, I think.
They're all my favourites. I've given it 8.9.
You just said it was a weakness, mate.
It's not a weakness, it's just less good. We have this conversation every time. We're bad at realising that least favourite doesn't mean it's bad. But yeah, I think this is an incredible album. I love the way, I think I talk about this every time we bring up Fontaines. When they made this album, in the production stage, they did all of the instrumentals and then just plopped Green on top and made him kind of stand out from the mix. And I think that works so well with this album.
Yeah, I think there's
with the things they're talking about, it works to help you focus on the poetic writing, which I think is why, as much as he very much keeps up his writing skills throughout their discography, this is where he seems to stand out as a frontman most, I think, because they've literally put him at the front for a reason.
Yeah, I think it's a great curation point because you get that rawness. And it almost feels like live as well. You get a bit of like live.
It's a very live sounding album. I agree. Okay.
What do you think I'm going for next?
I think you're going to have a Hero's Death here.
Wrong. Skinty Fia. And I've given it an 8.4, same as you.
Oh, okay.
But mine's second rather than third.
Yeah.
I echo everything you said, really.
Yeah.
I think this is their most cohesive album.
Okay.
But I don't think it's as consistent as A Hero's Death, which is what I've got at number 1, and we have actually agreed.
I can't believe that.
But Skinty Fia for me, I feel like is their best sort of, in terms of what an album means to me, it's their most cohesive album, feels the most album-like, because A Hero's Death is sort of this midpoint in between Dogrel and Skinty Fia, where it's sort of like, got that compilation of the hits, which isn't too much sort of focused into the creation of an actual album as like a format, but it does have some more bolder choices, bit more diversity and range. But for me, Skinty Fia, you got some of the best writing. I Love You, I completely agree, is one of the best songs and one of the best like moments with that refrain. It's just amazing. And like you said, all the band members are at their peak in that moment of the song. Jackie Down the Line, another fan favourite, but for a great reason. I think my favourite though is the outro.
Nabokov. Oh, hella there.
Hella there. I love the sort of distorted guitars and how I told you like the other day or whatever it was that I like a stimulating listen, and this is one of them ones. And I just think that this is where, I don't know, like Green's like either where I like him when he's a bit more buried in the mix. I like it here when it's still like raw, distorted, rather than in something like on Here's the Thing or something. We keep bringing that up. But in this, he's like sort of washed away by it, but he's
also part of the wave.
Yeah, it fits. Because it's all aggressive, which is what I like about him. I like his dark sort of undertones in his deliveries.
Yeah.
I will admit, though, the reason it's not number 1 is because there's more low points. Obviously, we just spoke about it. A couple across the way.
Can't believe that. But
I genuinely
can't believe it. I just don't agree, but I can believe it.
That's the song that puts it below A Hero's Death for me, because it's that bad. Like, I genuinely just can't.
Do you think it's bad, though?
For my listenership, yeah, I don't like it. The writing I appreciate, and I appreciate maybe the curation point in terms of using an accordion. I like that, but I just don't think the execution was good.
I know that the predominant bit is just the do, 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 do. It's that back and forth. But then what about the bit like at the end of it where it goes like really high pitched and it's like that's a very angelic moment. It's got so much beauty. It's so soft and nice. How is that bad?
I'm not saying it's bad, but yeah, I'm viewing the song as a whole.
What would you give
have
it?
to?
Actually, don't tell me.
I'm telling you now.
Oh, shit.
It's just, it'd be like a 3 or a 4. For me, like, it just doesn't click. Anyway, more to the album than that song, but that is one of the biggest lows in their whole discography for me.
Mm-hmm.
But there's another few, sort of like Bloomsday you mentioned, and I also agree, Big Shot, I don't really like that much. They're just okay.
It's a bit too like that. It's a little bit too deep.
And that's the thing again. It's nowhere near as like forced as Romance, and I think it still works. And a lot of people do really like it.
I do like it on other moments. I just think it works with a faster pace.
Yeah, and for me, I feel like it just isn't flattering for his voice. Like that's the best way I could describe it. I just feel like you don't sound your best right now in these things. Like I feel like if you maybe just kept your normal sort of tone, it would be much better because the writing is really good throughout.
Yeah. I think his deep voice suits the faster-paced, harder songs, and his more melodic, high-pitched voice suits the slower songs.
Yeah, no, not his high-pitched, soft.
Not
voice.
high-pitched,
soft. Yeah,
it is slightly higher though, but I don't.
I know what you mean. Yeah,
not
the falsetto. Yeah,
that. Get rid of it.
Yeah,
yeah,
get out of it. Right. But yeah, 8.4 for me, Skinty Fia.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
A Hero's Death. Well, I'll let you go first, and I might just jump in.
I'm giving it. I didn't think I'd give it this high. A 9.2.
Ooh.
We like to do this when we get in the 9 area. We like to compare to other stuff that we've put it, which means that it's better than Currents.
Oh, it's not better than Currents.
But it's 0.1 away from In a Speaker and OK Computer.
It's not that close, bro.
I think it is. I think this is an amazing album.
Okay. Tell me why.
Sonically, absolutely my favourite album in terms of instrumentals.
Agreed.
Specifically on songs like Lucid Dream.
Yep.
There is just so much there. I love the kind of it's kind of kept the ruthless driving force that Dogrel had, but it's started to dive into a bit more of the melodic stuff that we get a bit more on Skinty Fia. We get a bit more singy-songy there, rather than a bit chanty.
That's what I was...
Dogrel's chanty-chanty, Skinty Fia's a bit more singy-songy, Hero's Death is in between.
That's what I was trying to say. It's the...
That description.
You always come up with some terrible descriptions like partway through the video, but that's what I was trying to say. It feels like the perfect midpoint in terms of where they're at the peak of their musical career.
I think Hero's Death, which was the first Fontaines song I ever heard, is definitely absolutely a highlight and definitely a contender for Fontaine's best song. Same thing with A Lucid Dream.
Yeah.
So much sound, so much just rich content just going in your ears. There's so much in this album that it just feeds you. I like the pace changes on this. I like, definitely a highlight for me, Oh Such a Spring. There is something about that one. I love that really soft and atmospheric kind of guitar in the background of the chorus. When he does his, I like the deep but melodic voice, especially in this context. And I think he sounds very reminiscent of Leonard Cohen on songs like this. He sounds like an Irish Leonard Cohen.
Yeah.
That is absolutely a highlight. Living in America, that's a highlight.
See, that's one of the ones that I don't like as much because I don't like his deepness on that one.
I don't mind it because it's a bit more fast paced.
Yeah, but I feel like sometimes when he just holds the note, it's just like, I don't know.
Televised Mind as well. That's an absolute banger. Also, I Don't Belong. I like that one as well a lot. Especially songwriting. Yeah, that is a good turn setter. I completely agree. But yeah, I think this is a really well-flowing album. I think you get every corner of Fontaine's best sounds in one. Instrumentally, I feel like it's the richest album. I feel like you can definitely get the most out of it.
Yep.
I think it's absolutely up there with Dogrel songwriting and Green performance-wise. Maybe it doesn't seem to stand out as much because of just the way it's mixed, but actual lyrical content, the more you listen, the more you get into it. This is definitely one that will feed you more as you listen. Dogrel's definitely an album that hits you straight away.
Yep.
So this is absolutely my favourite Fontaine's album. But again, I will reiterate, any of Skinty Fia, Dogrel and Hero's Death, I completely understand any justification for them in any order.
Yeah.
There is just something about the sonics of Hero's Death that just feels like it's got a lot more noise in sections. Skinty Fia's definitely got a lot of atmosphere. Dogrel's definitely got a lot of drive to it, and I feel like you kind of mix all the stuff together, and the Hero's Death kind of has all of it in a good amount. It's the best of every Fontaine's world, I think.
Yep.
And I'll let you go into it if you have anything else to say.
Yeah, well, I completely echo everything you've just said. It's the perfect...
The bunny man.
Oh, fuck off, bro.
This one's called My Kingdom.
Shut up. For me, I think I completely agree. It's all the areas of Fontaine's discography that I like put into one package.
Yeah.
I don't think it's flawless, so I'm giving it an 8.5. I think it's great. And this is the first time as well on the podcast that you've actually ranked something higher than me.
Yeah. I think it's because the artists that we've done, even though we both love them, are definitely more your thing than my thing. Yeah.
So 8.5, I think it's great. I will just say this.
Yeah.
I do think people overrate Fontaines as a band. I think they're overrated.
I also agree that they do.
Yeah. I'm not saying they're bad at all, but I think even some of like the post-punky stuff that I really like on Dogrel, it's very reminiscent of like The Fall and early like The Cure and stuff.
I don't know if it's very Fall-y.
Nah, it is.
The Fall is not much sounds like The Fall.
I think there's like
you could make arguments. Maybe there's bits, but
what I'm saying is I feel like they just did it. I just
think
they did it better.
But I don't think it's the same thing. Anyway, I understand.
This is what I'm saying. I think people almost act like they're like completely their own sort of thing, and there's no one even close or remotely similar.
There is, of course. Yeah.
I just think they're a bit overrated. But I will say, Heroes Death is a very, very good album. It's great. I think, like you sort of said, we have similar favourites on here. Lucid Dream, Televised Minds, Heroes Death, the song. Some of their best bangers, all in consideration for some of my favourites.
Yeah.
I wish they did a few more of these songs because you get like they seem like rarities in the catalogue. The fast-paced, noisy songs.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
I appreciate the diversity, and it's not just what I want more, but like you don't really get one like this on Romance. Hey.
I'm not speaking today. Heroes Death and Dogrel both definitely have the fast-paced, hardest ones. I do think Heroes Death, like Big, Sha Sha Sha, Too Real.
Yeah.
What a great first three tracks, by the way. They all have that furious tempo to them. And I feel like Heroes Death takes that but gives it just more richness behind it, which is why I agree with you.
I think it's maybe, like you were saying, because Green was just put on top of maybe the live recordings, it's a little bit more stripped back but still has the drive. Yes. Whereas this one, your headphones are filled if you've got your headphones on.
Dogrel definitely
fills the room out of a speaker.
Dogrel definitely isn't a rich album. It's a hard album. It's very raw. This isn't Heroes Death. I don't think is a very raw album. There is definitely moments. I Don't Belong's fairly raw. I think.
Yeah.
Heroes Death's fairly raw, but it's definitely a more refined and full sound.
I feel like this is like the finished version of a Dogrel maxed out, which is why I've got it an 8.5.
I do think you are right. This is the peak of those kind of songs. I think they drop off a bit with Skinty Fia. There definitely is still some good ones. Jackie Down the Line's a bit furious, but it's also less hard and a bit more melodic chorus-wise. It's more catchy and less aggressive. I Love You. Nabokov's obviously the highlight. I don't know why I didn't talk about that really. When we did that. That's one of the first time I saw them, they opened with that. Do you remember the video when I'm filming and it's just like all like the green lights?
Yeah.
And then I just get sucked back into a mosh pit and I go,
good reaction.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, for me, I think Heroes Death also, I like the softer cuts on here. Oh Such a Spring, Sunny. Exactly sort of what you said.
Yeah.
Really nice introspective moments. So I think it's got its maybe like some of the heaviest and most noisy moments on this album, but also some of their prettiest introspective, more acoustic numbers as well. So I think it's just got a really great mix of all their best sounds put into one project. Some weaknesses though, because it isn't flawless for me. Love is not the main thing. It's just really repetitive, and I just like doesn't need to be there. I think you take it out. And
I still think it's a great song.
Album.
I do agree it's definitely one of the weaker ones, but I'd still say it's a great song. I don't know. I quite like the repetitiveness.
I think it's mid. So there's songs like that where it just brings it down. If you took them away, it would be a bit more consistent for me.
Yeah.
But all in all, it's a great album and it's an enjoyable listen. I also think a lot of people have said that, like I've seen online, this is the album they've listened to least. And I actually think that might be why it doesn't get enough love because, like you said, it's definitely a grower over time.
Absolutely.
It's maybe not got their catchiest hooks on here, but it's maybe got the most you can sink your teeth into over time.
I think this is kind of maybe a little bit of a hot take for us to have it at number one because I feel like
definitely
80% of Fontaine's fans will say that Romance is the favourite.
No, Skinty Fia is the
now.
I don't know.
Actual fans, yes, probably would. I know. I think Dogrel's with proper fans. I'd say Dogrel's the fan favourite.
I don't know. I suppose there is. Actually, I don't know that there is an out.
Because there is absolutely levels to Fontaines fans.
Yeah, but like I feel like you can make this argument about quite a lot of
definitely.
catalogues, to be fair. So.
But if you asked the population, not just Fontaines fans, the population, what's your favourite Fontaines album? Because Romance is the most commercial one. It's done
It's
the
also
best.
the most recent though, so it's the most in people's minds. I don't know.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would say that. I think it would. There's that. That's the recent. That's the more. It's the more successful. It's the more commercial one. It's the most recent one. So that's obviously in its own thing. Skinty Fia, a lot of people will see as fans from before Romance will probably say that that's the favourite because I feel like that's the album that got most. That's probably the album that got them the most fans.
Yeah,
I feel like Dogrel and Heroes Death still had a bit of a cult following. Skinty Fia was when they first started seeing real mainstream success.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd say the other option is the die-hard day one fans. Dogrel's the album for them. So I think A Hero's Death kind of stands on its own a bit.
Well, yeah, I agree. I think it is actually ranked as the worst quite a lot. But I don't think so.
No.
I'm like you. I can see why people can make the argument, and I understand the tiers of what you like because it's not necessarily a lot of with this is like the songwriting's all on kind of a similar level with my top three.
Yeah.
But I think it's the sonics and what you value out of an album experience that actually makes it
absolutely
in the position where you'd rank it. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, like Romance, I think as well, people will say that they really like the album, but they don't actually listen to the album. They listen to like favourite, Starburst, maybe.
Yeah, because our comment section is always, if there's Fontaines fans, it's actually quite rare. And I know that obviously there are plenty of Fontaines fans that would agree with us, absolutely. But the majority of comments will be to do with Romance or stuff on Romance, and it kind of ruins it a little bit.
Yeah, I think that album's really overrated.
Yeah,
it's not,
100%.
It's actually not.
That's why I think that Fontaines are overrated, because that album. I don't think that the other three albums are particularly overrated. Skinty Fia maybe slightly, but I don't think Dogrel or Heroes Death are overrated. Definitely don't.
Yeah. Okay.
In fact, I don't even know if I think Skinty Fia is overrated.
They're great bodies of work, but I think people genuinely genuinely think they're some of like the best like albums of all time, and they're not.
Yeah.
Or even close for me.
No, they're definitely some of the best for me. Definitely three of them. I like you choose three of them. They're my top three. Our top three are definitely three of the best albums in my opinion for guitar music of the last 20 years or so. I'd say that quite comfortably.
Yeah, I mean, we've recently spoken about Tame Impala. I'd take In a Speaker over any of these.
I'd take In a Speaker over these.
Yeah, so I mean, you've already got one there.
By point one. Yeah,
many as well, many more. But brings us to the end, I think.
Yeah, good little video. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Any requests? Send them over. Send us your lists, your opinions on our lists.
Do we overhate Romance? Do we overrate A Hero's Death? Let us know. Goodbye.
See you in the next one.